Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be building on a recent video of the Home Assistant AI automations with the Home Assistant AI Wildlife Watcher. In this video, we'll be linking Home Assistant to a multimodal AI, which in this case is Google AI Studio. But you could use OpenAI or even an LLM if you are lucky enough to have a machine that can run it. More on that later. Then we'll create an automation that will check the camera for motion. It will take a snapshot, store this, announce on a voice assistant that it has seen motion and taken a picture. Then it will send me a notification with an embedded picture to my mobile, with an AI description of hopefully the animal, and maybe even the species. Spoiler alert, I live in the suburbs of Sydney, so don't expect any kangaroos. That's coming in a new product video to be released soon. Now that's a lot of steps. Your time is precious, so let's dive on in. For the AI, you can in theory use any multimodal AI. However, specifically for multimodal, which means the analysis of image amongst other functions, OpenAI is a paid option. DeepSeek, the new AI that broke the internet with its efficiencies, does also offer multimodal, but this is also a paid option. And running a multimodal LLM at home would be expensive on pure hardware. Although there is a new LLM that I am currently testing that might solve all these issues. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that local multimedia LLM that can run on reasonable hardware. As such, we are currently limited to Google AI Studio, at least at the moment. For this to work, we're going to need an API key. Navigate to Google AI Studio, link in the description, and log in. Press Get API Key in the top left-hand corner. Press Create API Key. In the search screen, select Gemini API. Now press Create API Key in existing project. Now press the Copy button to copy to the clipboard. Now we have our API key. Let's install Google Generative AI in Home Assistant. Navigate back to Home Assistant. Navigate to Settings, Devices and Services. Press the Add Integration in the bottom right-hand corner. Search for and select Google. Select Google Generative AI. Paste in the API key that you just copied and press Submit. Optionally give it an area, in my case, System, and press Finish. And that's it. Google Generative AI is now installed and can be used. No restart is required, but remember this is sending information to Google, so you need to have the internet. Now let's test it out. Now we have not captured any images yet, so I'll put a test image for you to download, link in the description. Open Studio Code Server, link in the description if you don't have this installed. Expand out the config by pressing the chevron to the left. Then expand out the www. If you don't see a temp folder, then right-click on the www and select New Folder. Enter the name of temp and press Enter. Now drag and drop the test_snapshot file that you just downloaded into this folder. Now we have our test file. Let's test out Google Generative AI. Navigate to Developer Tools. Then select Actions on the top menu. In Actions, search for Google Generative AI and select. Copy the suggested prompt from the description and paste into the prompt field. Now tick the image file name. Copy the file name from the description below and paste it into the image file name. Press Perform Action. The AI will describe exactly what it sees on the table, which is interesting to see a Christmas gnome in February in Australia, with temperatures sometimes in the 40s. Now we are all set to start observing our wildlife. For this automation, I'll be using a Reolink E1 pan tilt indoor camera. Check out the review in the pop-up above. But any camera that can connect to and display images within Home Assistant should be fine. Just make sure it has motion detection. Open Home Assistant. Navigate to Settings, Automations and Scenes. Press the Create Automation button in the bottom right-hand corner. Now confirm by pressing Create New Automation. Press Add Trigger. Select Device. Search for and select your camera. Now select a trigger of Motion has started. Now this camera has animal detection that we can use to refine the performance even further. But for now, let's leave this as a simple detect motion for a trigger. There are no conditions, so we can skip over the and if section. In the then do section, we need to define the actions. Press Add Action. Let's take a snapshot. Search for and select perform action. In the action field, search for and select camera : take snapshot. Now we need to tell Home Assistant the entity of the camera feed. This will be different for each of you, but you'll be able to find this in your specific integration for your camera. Just make sure it's the highest quality image. Next, we need to tell Home Assistant where to store the image. This will be the same folder as we stored our test image. Enter /www/temp/animal_snapshot.jpg. Now we have our image, we can use Google Generative AI to analyze this image. Press Add Action. Search for and select Perform Action. Search for and select Google Generative AI. Copy the prompt from the description and paste into the provided field. Adjust as required for the surface and background. Now select the tick box for image file name. Enter the same path and file name that we stored the picture in. Now we need to store the response in a variable so that we can use it later in the automation. In the response field, enter AI_description. Now we have taken the picture, analyzed it. We need to announce that we have taken the picture and send the description to the Amazon Echo in my study. Then we'll send a notification to my mobile phone with the image plus the description of what was in the image. And then for good measure, we'll put on a button at the bottom of it to view the live view from the camera. Press Add Action. Search for and select Perform Action. Now press the three dots to the right of the Perform Action. Select Edit in YAML. Highlight all the YAML code and copy and paste the code from the link in the description below. You'll need to change the Notify Alexa media_study to your Amazon Alexa. Likewise, you're going to change the media_player.study to your media player. Now let's send the image and the description to my mobile phone. Press the Add Action button. Select Perform Action. Press the three dots next to the Perform Action. Select Edit in YAML. Copy the code from the link in the description for Send Message to Mobile and overpaste the existing code. You are going to need to make some modifications to this code. Change the Notify to the entity of your mobile phone. Remember that if you don't know what the entity name is, these are stored in Settings, Devices and Services, Entities. Search for the required entity and copy and paste into the existing code. The message for AI description can remain the same and remain unchanged. Change the title if required. If you stored your snapshot in the same location as me, then the path will need to change. With /config/www/ changing to /local/ as this is the format that is required. Then you'll need to enter your live camera view feed entity. This should be available from your integration for your camera. Now we can stop here and you'd have a very powerful automation. But if you'd like to implement an actionable notification with a button that navigates the live view, then we need a few more steps. Watch my video on actionable notifications, link in the pop-up above. Simply create a dashboard where the camera feed is shown. Copy the portion of the address immediately after the port number. Change the URI to the address that you just copied. Now press Save. Now give your automation a name and press Save. Let's test the full solution. Unfortunately, I don't have any trained possums or birds that come to eat the delicious seeds and rockmelon. So we're going to have to run the automation manually. Press the three dots in the top right hand corner. Select Run Action. First, we hear the message from the Studio Echo.
There is no animal visible in the provided image. The image shows a table with some food crumbs on it.
Next, we see a notification appear on my mobile. Long pressing the message reveals the picture that was just taken, and a moment later the button appears below the image. Pressing the button opens the Home Assistant companion app, and then opens the dashboard that has the live camera view. Now there are a few different ways to display this image, either by using iOS shortcuts or by using deep links to open the application where the video feed can be viewed, but these are complex and don't work on all mobiles. Hence the decision to go with the simplest and most universally accepted approach of opening in Home Assistant. So that's a super quick setup of Google AI Studio to analyze an image and report back on what it sees and to send that to Amazon Alexa, then to send you a notification with a snapshot plus a description of what's moved along with a link to a live view of the scene. The automation is totally functional as it is. However, I built this with you to demonstrate some principles that you can take to other automations. AI has some amazing features that will become increasingly more important in our lives. Understanding its capability is the key to taking your automations to the next level. I mentioned in this video that this is currently limited to Google AI Studio as a free option. If you would like to see the option with the local LLM that can handle multimodal, then please let me know in the comments. That's a whole different beast. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then hit that like button, comment and share. And if you'd like to have access to similar material, then subscribe or maybe become a channel member and get early access to material plus other perks. And if I've helped you build a Twitter integration, then maybe a super thanks or a PayPal donation. It's really appreciated. Until the next one, unless Skynet gets us first.